Even no matter the quantity or the volume of water you draw from him, you draw from that river, it is the same. It's limitless. Praise Master Jesus. He knows the end even from the beginning. God, he knows the end from the beginning. He knows the end from the beginning. If you have this understanding, you will know that whatever journey God is sending you, he already knows the outcome. That it is the journey that will bring you to an expected end. Praise Master Jesus. Whatever God has said in your life, he knows the ending. He knows the outcome. He's only waiting for you. He's just waiting for you at the ending. He's waiting for you at the ending. If you have this understanding, you will know that whatever you are going through now, that God is aware, and that he will not allow you to be consumed in the process. Praise Master Jesus. Because at the end of the day, you are going to come out refined like a God. God does his things. So when we have this understanding, we will know that, if we can walk in line with this understanding, if we can walk in accordance with this understanding, if we can live our lives based on this understanding of who God is, based on this understanding of what God is capable of doing, based on this understanding, if we're able to live by it, then we have nothing to worry about in life. That even when the worries are coming, we already know. We have that understanding that it is part and parcel of life, and that will not be consumed therein. Praise Master Jesus. His ways are different from our ways. So as Christians, we must have the understanding of God's ways. We must know how God operates. We must know how God does his things. And when we live by that way, we become fulfilled. When we live by that way, we live a fulfilled life. So God's thinking is different from man's thinking. That's why in that Isaiah 55 verse 8 made us understand that his ways, they are different from our ways. He said, for my thoughts are not your thoughts. Your thoughts are it is what you see. Your thoughts is just from what you see. That is where you reason from. That's why we always say that man cannot see beyond the nose. It is from what you see. We are forced to, from what we see, to conclude, to judge by what is surrounding us. So he made it clear to us that, look, my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. So bring yourself together under him, and allow him do the leading. Allow him take over the affairs. If you have the understanding that on your own you can do nothing, so you will not trouble yourself. You will not trouble yourself. The way we think, the way we reason is as a result of what we can see. But God does not walk by sight. Praise Master Jesus. God does walk by sight. That's why our Father the Lord will always tell us that, we see a man that is hungry, is crying because there is no food at home at that moment. And so it is because of, and when there is no food, and the idea of even having food to eat is not there, it intensifies the cry. Why? Because the person could only look around and look, I have no money in my pocket. Nobody is calling me to tell me, I want to send you money. And now there is no food. And so the person concludes like that and begins to cry. Praise Master Jesus. But meanwhile, God, the way he does his things, it is beyond how you think. That nobody has called you, that there is no hope that there is food. You don't have food now, that there is even no hope that you will even have food to eat later. That is your own thinking. And so, but we will now know that, look, God has already provided everything. Praise Master Jesus. Everything is already provided. And for the fact that I'm not seeing it now, but I have that on. And so when you walk with that understanding, it begins to unravel. It begins to flow. That is why his ways, they are different from our ways. Praise Master Jesus. Praise the Lord. You know, there are so many things. There are so many things that could, make us want to walk with our own understanding. You want to calculate with that small understanding of yourself that you have. You begin to put 1 + 1 together, 2 + 2 together in your own limit. Where God is just there, looking. He's just there looking. Why? Because he knows that is in your heart, that you can just think, that you have reasoned and concluded, is nothing. It's nothing. So it takes a man that have this understanding to be able to overcome. Praise Master Jesus. Very briefly, we'll just take a look at, how